For more on the story, we are now joined by railway engineering consultant Dr. Willem Sprong. Very good evening to you, Doctor. We thank you very much for your time. Essentially, you were on the scene this morning, just a couple of minutes after it had happened. Describe to us what you saw as bodies were strewn all over the railway.
Well, fortunately, I arrived when that was already cleared up, but the emotions that went through me, it was almost like experiencing deja vu. Having been there on the 4th of September last year at a similar accident, on the 6th of October again, and here we are 3 months later. Unfortunately, this time there's also the sadness of 4 people that lost their lives. It was just really a scene of sadness, almost a helpless feeling that nothing has changed in the last 4 months.
Now, what are some of the areas of concern around the cause of the crash? You've mentioned earlier that this seems to be a repetition of what we've seen before in the horrific crashes that took place last year.
Our rail system is designed so that we have safety nets. If the signalling system, like this morning, fails, and it failed this morning apparently due to copper theft again, we should not have these accidents. We have these safety nets where we have manual authorizations, and after the manual authorizations we have train drivers that are trained to travel within their limits so they can bring their trains to a standstill if there's an obstruction on the railway line. And just to stand there and see that yet again these safety nets failed us, human error, it's a helpless feeling. But we also need to understand that these people are under a huge amount of pressure. Our system at this stage, countrywide, is deteriorating at such a rate that we're having thousands of authorizations, manual authorizations on every shift. And it's 1,000 opportunities to make a mistake like we had this morning.
But it could also be 1,000 opportunities to get it right. So where are our authorities dropping the ball if we are seeing that we are having systems fail with the safety nets, we are seeing a copper theft and then the pressure on the human manned trains? Where then can we find a solution to this?
If you look at the annual State of Rail Safety report that was released in October, showing us the statistics of the previous 2 years, you'll see that we have train accidents, almost 1,000 per year. We just hear about these that occur when people are injured and when it happens and it's in the news. We should start looking at ways to prevent these accidents. We should not just rely on humans to be our safety net. We all know humans make mistakes. We need the management of PRASA. We need our politicians to take responsibility. We need every person in this country to start respecting our infrastructure, take the responsibility to look after it. We need our leaders at metros, the big cities, to assist in town planning. Don't go and build a mall on the one side and a school on the other side. You will find people that cross the line illegally. We kill over 600 people per annum on our railway lines, and that, unfortunately, in the last few months has increased drastically. We need the accountability. We need to take steps. We must stop talking and we need to spend the money at the right places. It doesn't help that we do maintenance, but it's ineffective. We need to analyze our problems and address it efficiently and effectively.
In terms of accountability and responsibility, Metrorail has somewhat taken responsibility for what happened today. What do you make of that?
My feeling, walking on the site, looking at the demeanor of the people on the site, they're not taking accountability. I got the feeling this morning that nobody's going to have a sleepless night tonight because 4 people got killed. And it's not something as a railway engineer that I like to see. I'm a 4th generation passionate person about railways, and the situation I experienced this morning really saddened me. And we have the solutions. We have the people in our country that can assist us. We must just deploy them and get them to be able to focus in the right places.
Now, in this case specific, we're not sure if this is also related to some of the other previous train accidents, but let's talk about how big of an issue this is of copper theft and vandalism taking place on our railway system.
When you speak to the people this morning, they're despondent. They will tell you that they can't even replace the stolen copper wire because even the signals, the lights, the physical infrastructure have been stolen. And what also experiences the broken window effect, where you start allowing weeds to grow between your railway lines. The next moment you will get thieves that enter that line because it just doesn't look tidy. And once they start stealing the copper, then they will also start stealing your lights and your poles and your masts, and in the end you end up with a situation where you just cannot repair it anymore. When you talk to people that's responsible for the maintenance of this infrastructure, they just tell you it doesn't help that we replace it. It tells you that we've got a culture, a societal problem in South Africa where our people feel nothing for the infrastructure. We have millions of people that depend on it. Why are we stealing it? Why are we vandalizing it? Fortunately, I'm an engineer. I'm just there to fix the technical problem, but we need somebody that can talk to our societies and get them to understand their responsibility as well.
We thank you very much for your time this evening. That was railway engineering consultant Dr. Willem Sprong, just giving us updates on that fatal crash that has killed 4 people in Mountain View Station. Over 600 commuters were injured today. Having a look at some of the causes of concerns around that. Thank you very much for your time.